I wasn't supposed to hear it. That's what made it worse. If they had said it to my face, maybe I could have argued, defended myself, pretended it didn't hurt. But this was the truth. Unfiltered, unintended, and impossible to ignore. It started with a normal call. My mom had called me that evening, asking the usual questions, how work was, if I was eating properly, when I'd visit next. Nothing felt strange. Nothing felt off. If anything, it felt like one of the better conversations we'd had in a while. Before hanging up, I told her I'd send some money the next day, like I always did. Okay, take care, she said. Yeah, you too, I replied. And then, I didn't hang up. Not intentionally. I just got distracted. My phone was still on the table, call connected, when I walked into the kitchen. That's when I heard it. My father's voice. Did she say she's sending it tomorrow? My chest tightened. There was a small pause. Then my mom answered. Yes. Like always. Like always. Something about the way she said it felt rehearsed. Familiar. Then my father laughed. Not loud. Not exaggerated. Just casual. Good, he said. At least something's worth keeping her around. I froze. Completely still. My hand still holding the glass I had just picked up. I waited. Hoping I misunderstood. Praying there was more to it. There wasn't. My mom spoke again. And this time, her voice was different. Colder. We're done anyway, she said. Once we get everything sorted, we don't need to keep pretending. Pretending. The word echoed in my head. What about her? My father asked. A small pause. Then the sentence that changed everything. She won't notice, my mom said. She never does. Something inside me broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. Like something that had been cracking for years finally gave in. I stood there, unable to move. Unable to think. Because suddenly, every "how are you" felt fake. Every "we miss you" felt calculated. Every moment I thought we were reconnecting was just part of something else. Something I wasn't supposed to see. My father spoke again. As long as she keeps sending money, it's fine, he said. After that we're done. Done. With me. With everything. I slowly walked back to the table. My phone was still there. The call still active. Still connected. They hadn't even realized. They didn't care enough to check. I picked it up. Stared at the screen. Listened to their voices for a few more seconds. Then, without saying a single word, I ended the call. And just like that, everything I thought I knew about my family was gone. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't guessing how they felt about me. I heard it. Clearly. And there was no going back from that. I didn't call them back. Not that night. Not the next day. For the first time in years, I went quiet. No good morning messages. No "did you eat" check-ins. No monthly transfer. Nothing. At first, it felt strange. Like I was forgetting something important. Like I was about to be called out. But the call never came. Because they didn't notice. Not immediately. Days passed. Then a week. And then my phone finally rang. My mom. I stared at the screen for a few seconds before answering. Hello. Hey, she said casually. You've been busy? I almost laughed. Busy. That's what she thought this was. Yeah, I replied calmly. There was a small pause. Then she said it. You forgot to send the money this week. Straight to the point. No concern. No curiosity. Just the transaction. I didn't forget, I said. Silence. A different kind this time. What do you mean? She asked. I mean I didn't forget, I repeated. I just didn't send it. Her tone shifted instantly. Is something wrong? She asked. I leaned back in my chair, letting out a slow breath. You tell me, I said. Another pause. Longer. Careful. What is that supposed to mean? She asked. I could hear it now. The tension. The uncertainty. Because for the first time, I wasn't predictable. You really don't know? I asked quietly. No, she said. And I believed her. Because in her mind, nothing had changed. Which meant one thing. She had no idea I heard everything. I think it's better if I stop sending money for a while, I said calmly. For a while? She repeated, her voice rising slightly. Why? There it was. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Did something happen?" Just, "Why the money stopped." I closed my eyes for a second, because hearing it again this clearly somehow hurt more than before. "I need to focus on myself," I said. "That's not fair," she said quickly. "We depend on you." Depend. Not care. Not love. Depend. I nodded slowly, even though she couldn't see me. "I know," I said. "And that's the problem." Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Because she could feel it now. Something had changed. Something she didn't control anymore. "We'll talk about this later," she said quickly, trying to regain control. But I didn't let her. "No," I said. "We won't." And before she could respond, I ended the call. I sat there for a long time after that. Not angry, not emotional, just clear. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't reacting to what they said. I was acting on what I knew, and whatever came next was going to be very different from before. They showed up 2 days later. Not a call, not a message, just at my door. I opened it and saw both of them standing there. For a moment, none of us spoke. Then my mom forced a small smile. "You weren't answering properly," she said. "So we thought we should come." I stepped aside. "Come in." They walked in slowly, looking around like they were seeing my life for the first time. The space, the calm, the independence, everything they benefited from but never really respected. My father sat down first. "We need to talk about this," he said firmly. I stayed standing. "There's nothing to talk about," I replied. My mom's voice softened. "You've changed," she said. I looked at her. "No," I said quietly. "I just stopped pretending." Silence. Heavy. Real. My father leaned forward. "Cutting us off like this isn't right," he said. "We're your parents." That word again. Parents. I nodded slowly. "I know," I said. "And I was your daughter." They both went still, because they felt it. The shift. "You didn't hear me that night," I continued. "But I heard you." My mom's face drained of color. "What are you talking about?" she whispered. I held her gaze. "You forgot to hang up." Silence. The kind that says everything without a single word. My father looked away. My mother's eyes filled with panic. "You misunderstood," she started. "No," I said calmly. I didn't. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. Because I didn't need to. I heard every word. I continued. "We're done. As long as she keeps sending money, she won't notice." Each sentence landed heavier than the last. My mom started shaking her head. "We didn't mean it like that." "Then how did you mean it?" I asked. She had no answer. Because there wasn't one. My father finally spoke, his tone harder now. "Even if we said something wrong, that doesn't mean you abandon your family." I let out a quiet breath. "Family doesn't pretend to care just to get something," I said. Silence again. Longer this time. Final. My mom wiped her tears. "So that's it?" she asked. "You're just done with us?" I thought about that. About everything. The years of trying. The money. The calls. The effort. And the truth I wasn't supposed to hear. "I'm not done," I said. They both looked up slightly. Relief. Hope. But I shook my head. "I'm just not playing that role anymore." Confusion replaced relief. "What does that mean?" my father asked. "It means if we ever have a relationship," I said, "it won't be built on money." I stepped back slightly. No more transfers. No more pretending. No more expectations. My voice stayed calm, but it was firm. "If you want to talk to me, talk to me." I looked at both of them. "Not to what I can give you." My mom broke down quietly. My father said nothing, because for the first time, they had nothing to stand on. No control. No leverage. Just truth. After a few moments, they stood up. Slowly. Silently. And walked toward the door. I didn't stop them. I didn't follow. Because some endings don't need to be loud to be final. Sometimes, the hardest truth to accept is this. Not everyone who calls you family treats you like one. But the moment you stop being useful to them is the moment you finally start being honest with yourself.